we doing today? Good to see you. Happy West Coast live stream. It's your boy Dave Neal. We're here. We're hanging out. The music's good. Not too shabby. How you doing, West Coast? Where's everyone tuning in from? That's right. Bruce is living large on the West Coast. You're over there in the marina, right, Bruce? Hanging out on that boat life. Should we do a recap from the boat? Franny's checking in from Marina del Rey. Hello, Franny. Good to see you. Everyone's coming over from the West Coast live stream. We did a pre-episode live stream, and then we're just adding live streams. Every season we're adding live streams. Here's the Saturday afternoon pre-live stream. Yeah, King for a day. Spade said, I can't wait to see these people on Cameo sing happy birthday for $9. Ain't that the truth? That's exactly what they'll be doing. Not too shabby. Get that $9. People have asked me to do Cameo, and I'm like, are you kidding me? The market for my shoutouts? I don't think so. And then I've done a few shoutouts to people for favors, and I do understand why it's better to be paid than not. But it's like go big or go home. I feel like I should have $1,000 Cameo where it's like I'll just hang out with you for the night and until you get annoyed and you're like, you can go home now, Dave. And I'm like, no, one more episode of The Office. Denise, hello, how are you? Sarah's back in the house. Nordica, haven't even seen the episode yet. Got home from work late. No worries, you didn't miss too much. We're gonna be spoiling the what went down eventually, relatively soon. Jess is still up. Still awake in Florida. Good to see you, Jess. I was just recording my recap and finishing the laundry. Here's the deal, though. You ever do this? I was, it's late at night. I'm doing the laundry now, but, I'm doing it because we got in late and I'm trying to redo did the sheets. But this comforter, it won't drain. It didn't finish in the spin cycle. For whatever reason, it spun around but clogged the drain. So I ran it through the spin cycle twice and it's still as wet as can be. So then I threw it in the dryer. And after half an hour in the dryer, I was like, clearly this isn't working. And then I pulled it out of the dryer and it was still weighed 100 pounds soaking wet. So I left it in the backyard so it can just drip dry for the evening. But, some dove's probably going to take a crap on it or whatever. But I didn't want to run it all night. It's just literally like a bag of cement in the dryer. All right. Log that under things nobody literally ever would care about. Hey, Franny, thank you so much for the 40K well wishes. I'll leave this 40K thank you up for another day or two just to make sure everyone, gets in on the gratitude there. Ladybird says, I'm going to miss Spade. Yeah, I am too. Yeah, I think he was good. I think he could have gotten a lot of humor in. I'll tell you what, it's kind of the same way when I do my recaps. The longer the season goes, the more callbacks there are, the more you get to know certain people's personalities and what they're like, and whatever jokes you haven't told already, you can bring into it. So I think for comedy's sake, he would have continued to bring some fun stuff. But there's nothing better than getting in and getting out. Now Lance Bass is going to follow him. Now Lance, obviously not a comedian. I'm sure he'll get a laugh or two in there, but not going to have that same energy that Dave brought. Yeah, I thought he was good. Bruce says it's too hot for thick blankets anyway. I mean, it's not Bachelor in Paradise crab life heat, but still. Yeah, it wasn't even that thick of a blanket, but it's so wet. I don't know what happened to it. Yeah, Callisto says, wait, is Spade finished being the host? Yes, he is done. 2 episodes in and out. Araceli is saying hello from San Diego. Good to see ya. Man, I've been dying to get down to San Diego. I'll be down there pretty soon for some stand-up shows. This Friday, I'll be in Hollywood, and this Saturday, I'll be in Santa Monica. The Saturday show is the 10 o'clock show at West Side Comedy Club. If anyone wants a late-night Saturday laugh. They renovated it. It looks pretty good. I think the audience has to wear masks, though. Boring. Nothing like getting a muffled laugh from a masked audience. But hey, you do what you gotta do. You do what you gotta do. Sarai's checking in. Always good to see Sarai hanging out there on the West Coast. All right, shall we jump into some voicemails? Let's see if we have any voicemail. You know what? We don't have any voicemails. How about that? If anyone wants to... You know what? We have a very small amount of... Is it just my live stream says it's only 86 people. That feels kind of low for the West Coast live stream, doesn't that? Feels kind of low. Let me know if I've got the wrong number. Susan's checking in. I guess it is only 10:05, so we'll be hanging out here for a little bit. JC Miles says, obviously won't get the same dick energy from Lance Bass as we did from Spade. Yeah, of course. It'll be a little bit different, and that's fine too. But if Lance Bass, let me tell you something. If he's not singing some boy band songs, then what are you even doing there? You know what I mean? We better get some tunes from him. Sarai said I'll leave one. Please do. Stephanie says, do you need to show proof of vaccination for your show? I don't believe so. I don't believe that's a requirement in Santa Monica, right? I don't think that's a thing. I can check for you though. I was at the show last week and they didn't have to do that. I think they just ask, like, obviously if you're drinking, you can take your mask off, but I think they're just trying to comply with whatever the local rules are. The Poor Comedy Club has been closed for a year and they're just like, trying to stay afloat. It's a really nice club though. The cheap beers, it's right off the promenade. It's a nice spot. If anyone wants to come to that show, I'm going to promote it all week. I want to get a good crowd out there. Yeah, I wonder why the numbers are low. Sometimes when they're low, it means I did something wrong on the stream. Like, I wonder if I had the wrong, I don't know. I wonder if I, tagged the wrong things. Either way, who cares? We're here. We're going to hang out. We'll grow. We'll slowly grow this crowd. Get some voicemails in. If anyone wants to call in. Yeah, so the topics we talked about earlier, I don't mean to be redundant, but if you are new for the West Coast stream, on the East Coast stream, we talked about Demi and her inability to accept rejection from Brendan. Talked about the possibilities of Natasha. I think Natasha's in on the Brendan ruse. I feel like she's in on it. She's there to keep Brendan warm until Piper shows up. I feel like that's the vibe. It's interesting with Demi is that she became the new Corinne. Remember when Corinne was like that big, it's funny how quick the cycle is, isn't it? How quickly we cycle through. Like, so many of the people in Bachelor in Paradise are only from the last season or two. And it makes you wonder, did we just forget about people pre-pandemic? Obviously, people like Grocery Store Joe has stuck around, Natasha, but almost all of the people at Bachelor in Paradise are pandemic audiences, which is fine. I don't know. Is there anyone else you guys want to see? I mean, I guess Kelsey's from the pre-pandemic crowd. Elizabeth Perillo checking in from Buffalo. Good to see you. Very nice. 92. Okay. That's all right. Let's see if we can crack 100. We had about 300 going on in the, maybe around 250 in the other one. Ladybird says, I feel like Corinne was a fun villain. Demi is not fun to watch at all. I like Demi as a person. I do. I'm conflicted because I like that she's the first to admit when she says something wrong off color. She kind of just fires from the hip on her Twitter. But on the show, I don't know. I don't know if it translates to me. I don't know. It's just a lot. It's just a lot of that fake bravado. And again, maybe that's just that maybe that's just kind of that sort of Napoleon energy. Susan said, I hated that James went from one manipulator to another. Wait, who was the second one that James went to? Did he go to Demi after that? Oh yeah, well, I don't think he's actually into Demi. I just feel like, doing a producer favor. Sarai says she's not drinking. Not drinking. Kim Duncan says, I can't even take Demi serious anymore. Tonight, when he said to her, you are entitled to your opinion, and she said, I am not effing entitled. It's yeah, it was so funny. He goes, Brendan's so good. He's like, you're entitled to your opinion. He said all the right things. He was like, look, I'm going to see other people. And what did she expect? Come on, he's the hottest guy in the crowd. No offense to Demi, but the guy's a smoke show, right? So we always say he's a smoke show. All right, let's go to some voicemails. All right, we got a couple of voicemails here. Please leave a voicemail if you have anything to say. If you don't, by all means, no worries. But if you have a voicemail and you want to do any confessions, we can do late night confessions if you guys want. Go to 401-213-9828. Leave a voicemail right now. We'll get to you in just a minute. All right, let's see. Oh, I'm not plugged in here. I need to get plugged in. Hold on, folks. Not plugged in. How about this late night trance music we got going on? What do you think about that? All right, here we go. Is it Sarai? Is she our first caller? Let's get Sarai on the board here. Oh, hold on. Not hearing anything.
Hey, David and everyone. It's Sarai. I thought for sure James was going to pick Kelsey over little Demi anytime. I really thought it was going to be Kelsey's turn finally. Demi, I liked her when she was on VIP the first time, but now she's just a little pot stirrer. I'm not going to swear tonight. I'll behave. But she's a little pot stirrer. I just don't trust her. I don't like her. And Victoria P, she looks like she's done some work on her face. I mean, she was beautiful before. It looks like a bad cartoon character. And I don't like making judgments on people's looks, but she just doesn't look like her old self. So something with it, I don't know, just something off about her. But she finally owned up to having a boyfriend. She's the new Jed. Anyway, and then I've got a ladies question for my date with Mark. So I painted my toenails already, but I don't have any clear nail polish for my fingernails, so I'm taking a poll. I've got a light periwinkle blue, a light green, and a dark turquoise. Which a bit looks better, because on my toes is a dark turquoise. So let me know. All right. See y'all again soon. Bye.
Listen, I know you're not asking for my opinion on nail polish color, but I would stick with the dark turquoise. I don't know. That's just me. What do I know? Not much at all. Never really worn nail polish. I'm sure I've worn nail polish to an event or two, now that I mention it. I don't want to say I've never worn nail polish and then someone finds a photo. I mean, look. You know, you put a little eyeliner on. Next thing you know, I'm the belle of the ball. You know what I'm saying? We had a few comments here. Let's see what we had. Eliza said she might try to make it to my show on Saturday. Yeah, just let me know. Let me know on Instagram if you plan on coming. I hate it when people show up to a show and they don't say hi, because then sometimes I'll like make eye contact with someone, but it's like, I don't know what people look like for the most part. You got a little thumbnail. I don't know who you are. So sometimes I'm like, I'm not sure. And then everyone always afterwards says, well, I didn't want to bother you. No, come say hi. And I'll be there before the show, and I'll be hanging out after the show. So if anyone wants to come to the show, by all means, I would love to see you. I mean, there's probably 5 or 6 comics on the show. We'll all do, 10 or 14 minutes or something like that. We'll try to tell some jokes. Get out there, and it'll be a fun time. It's always good to laugh. Consider it therapy. It's therapy for the soul. Get out there and laugh a little bit. We all need it. All right. Boy, Sarai made him double chocolate chip cookies. She's not messing around. She's going with the chocolate chip cookies. She's going with the nail polish. Maybe a little rubbing tug. Who knows? Oh, man. Franny said you and Michael are coming to the show? Nah, I'll have to do some new material then. I'm still working some things out, Franny. Don't mind me if you hear some of the same jokes. Still working things out. Franny, are you coming to the Saturday night show? How fun. You guys are the best. Super supportive. There'll be some really funny comics on that show. I don't know if you've ever been to West Side Comedy Club, but it's a pretty cool venue. Abby said, funny how Demi called out Brendan for the whole Piper thing outside of Paradise, but she did the same with Derek and Christian. Yeah, of course. Of course, though, there's when you're on a show long enough, you'll always be the center of some hypocrisy, as we say. Very nice. Very excited to see you, Franny, on Saturday. Great. That's totally fun. Yay. Maybe Tasha will be there. I don't think Tasha's going to. Maybe she'll be there. Tasha and I have plans on the West Side earlier in the night, but that's kind of late for her. But maybe. Alrighty. Let's see if we have any other voicemails. Nothing right now. Voicemails are lined up. Yeah, I thought Kelsey, in response to Sarai, I thought Kelsey... I like Kelsey, but I maybe you kind of need like some of that. You really need to stand out on the show to get the attention. I feel like Serena and Jasenia, they're kind of like the fresh new girls from the latest couple seasons. I don't know if that makes them more desirable, or is it just a luck of the draw? Sometimes you're on a show and there's no match for you. Like, I feel like if I was ever on a show like that, there would be scenarios in which, like, maybe I'd be a match for, I don't know, like a certain type of a certain person, but like, some other guy swoops in and next thing you know, you're the odd man out. So the fact that 4 women had to go home, that's a lot. That's a lot for one episode. The next round, there'll be, I'm assuming new men will show up, and then the women will give the roses out, and some of the old men will go home. The question is, what guys, that have been partnered up with ladies, now that the ladies are in control, we'll get to see the ladies' true feelings. You know what I mean? Because obviously, like, they're gonna, subconsciously or not, when you're just trying to be picked, you'll just kind of either settle or, negotiate yourself into thinking you like someone, and then all of a sudden you have the rose, a couple new dudes show up who have some bigger biceps, and who knows what happens. Anna says, I'd come to your show if I lived in LA. Well, where do you live? Let me know. Join the newsletter. Once I actually have shows outside of LA, I'm going to be doing a few shows a couple days after Thanksgiving in New York City. I don't have any of the dates lined up yet, but I haven't booked my flights either because we're going to wait and see how this world's going. Ladybird says, any plans to perform in San Francisco or anywhere else in NorCal? I do need to get up to San Francisco. I need to get some shows back up at the setup, but I don't have anything planned right now. But I will let you know. I'll make sure the week of the shows that I'll let everyone know. Absolutely. Yeah. Kevin Rashidi's in the house. What up, Kevin? How are you? Bree's in the house. Good to see you. So, Bree, are you the Bree that sent me the photo of your cat? Very nice. I told you guys I got my first nude photo. I feel like not the cat photo, not different kitty. I feel like it was probably spam, but there was something about it. They had liked a lot of my previous Bachelor content, so I was like, maybe it's not spam. And I couldn't tell. Usually you can obviously tell, but Tasha, we both were like, what is this? You know what I mean? We couldn't tell. That's what, once you get 40,000 subscribers, they start throwing the nudes at you. Which is big. Because I'm like, sir, please put it away. All right. There we go. Okay. Katie Edwards says I'm right. By the way, are you okay with my vibe right now? I'm kind of like low key. I'm trying to like come off the caffeine. I'm still kind of on East Coast time from the weekend. So as soon as I'm done with this, I'm going to go straight to bed. Try to get a good start on tomorrow. Tomorrow's content, I've already got it lined up. Let me know if I'm missing any stories here. I've got Victoria calling Tajwan aggressive. It's a big story. It's something. It's something worth talking about. I have Dale and Claire rumored to be wed. I also have a rumor of another recent couple getting engaged, but I don't have any proof that I know it. So there's not much I can do about it. Okay, guys? So I may have come across information that another recent, in the last several years, pairing is engaged. But like I said, I can't make a video about that because I don't have any evidence. And also, with respect to the people, I don't know if I should talk about it. All right. Anyway, so those are the videos I'll be making later tomorrow, along with, trying to go get my battery fixed. Some people gave me some really good advice on how to fix the battery in my laptop, so I'll be doing that. The Great Gatsby, the Great Gathy, how do I pronounce your username? Says, yeah, you do need to come to San Francisco. It's on the list. It's just, I got to put together a couple of shows and have some fun and, find a fun place to stay. But it's on the list. So hopefully this fall. Kevin said, you made it once you get the new DMs. I know, right? Boy, that dries up real fast when you're in a relationship. When you're single, there is a lot of slinging around nudes. And single ladies, let me know. I feel like people aren't sending nudes in the moment. They're just nudes in their library. Like I don't know. I don't feel like anyone's going to admit to this, but by all means, go for it. But yeah, my single New York days, there was tons of people slinging nudes. It was almost like the prerequisite. It's like, do I want to go on a date with this person? I feel like that's modern dating. You're like, do I want to go on a date with this person? Well, let me see what they look like nude first. It's kind of backwards, but at the same time, it's kind of progressive. It's like, hey, listen, I don't want to waste time eating, chicken cacciatore with you if we don't look good in the sheets. All right, Kathleen says, feeling the low-key vibe as well. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Jess says, I appreciate the vibe. It's 1:20 a.m. there. Very nice. Maybe I'll just boost up the audio and even get quieter. How does that sound? Ladies and gentlemen, so please tell me, and I might be a little behind on the chat here, how to pronounce your name there. Oh, Gabby, the Great Gabby. Oh, that makes so much more sense. I was going with some form of Gatsby. I was like, oh, it's the Great Gatsby? The Great Gabby with a 1-3 as a B. Very nice. Gabby, thank you so much. Nina says vibe is fire. Wow, very nice. Just Me Madison said, will you confirm if we guess right? Well, no, let's just say this. I don't believe it to be true. I don't believe it to be true. But I have people or somebody who has said they believe that Rachel and Matt are engaged. I don't share this anywhere. I'm just sharing it with you guys. I don't believe it's true. But do me a favor and start looking at those photos for the ring. The last thing they're going to do is wear a wedding ring. So we'll have to see how it is. Of course, I could just, shoot a message to, Rachel's mom, Kim, but Kim did not tell me. Although, Kim, if you do want to leak the info to me, let me know, and I would be glad to pass it along. But there's even if they were engaged, I think I would prefer not to be the one to let people know, because it's like, who am I to ruin what might be a nice, fun secret moment for them? But if they do want me to let people know they're engaged, just let me know. Just blink twice, okay, folks? Araceli says, excited to see tomorrow's episode with more men coming in. It will shake things up for sure. Riley looks like he will be causing trouble. Riley is one of my favorites. He's smart, he's strong, he's good looking, he's got a great job. I'm very excited for Riley to come, because you've got some people in there like Carl. That's like, look, there's no way Deandra would be into Carl. There's just no way. Carl, come on. You know what I mean? But, ladies got to get their roses. All right. Let's see what we got going on here. Monique Garcia says, congrats to the 40K. Thank you so much. Jess said, yes, nudes in the library. I get the same nudes from the same people over and over. Like, dude, I got that already. How funny. Now, do you prefer a full body shot, or are you into the close-up? Gemma said, Dave, when's your next show in LA? Friday in Hollywood at a very small location. It's like a probably a 30-seater on Melrose. Fun little spot. And then Saturday night, I'll be at West Side Comedy in Santa Monica on the 10 p.m. show. Yeah. Gemma says, I can't. Oh, so you want to know after Saturday? Okay, I'll let you know about future dates. I have another show. Send me a DM for other shows, but I have a couple LA shows coming up in smaller venues. September 2nd, and then September 16th. I don't know. I think they're both in Hollywood. I'm not really sure. One might be in Echo Park. No, one might be in Atwater Village. But shoot me a DM on Instagram. Keep the nude photos to yourself. I do not request nude photos, even though now I'm getting them unsolicited. Kevin says, girls get upset if you send them recycled nudes. Yeah, you need to send a nude with a little green screen behind you so you can change out the location. Just Me Madison said, Rachel and Matt, that was my first thought when you said it. Well, yeah, that would be, who knows. Stephanie got her second vaccine shot today, and the low-key vibes is perfect. I'm kind of tired. Yeah, drink a lot of water and just relax. Absolutely. Breaking report, Rachel K is dating Chris Harrison. Wouldn't that be one thing? Chris Harrison just ruins the relationship. Susan said, I wouldn't be surprised if Matt and Rachel were engaged. Now, considering the show, they could have very well ended up the season engaged. They've been dating for, about 8 months since the show aired? So their relationship's closing in on a year, right? They would have started dating, I guess the show would have started in September or October. So maybe they are engaged. They don't need it for their careers. They don't need it for the publicity. So if they are engaged, I'm all for that. Sarah says Riley goes after Taj. Pumped for him? Yeah, absolutely. I think they'd be a good match. I think he goes after. They showed it. They showed in the previews. I think he tries to stir the pot with Marissa, who Connor's dating. So we'll have to see how that goes, because Connor's definitely into Marissa. We'll have a lot to see there. A lot to see. Mohammed Zishan needs a good-hearted friend. Please message him on WhatsApp. Gonna go ahead and say that is spam. All right, let's see if we have any voicemails. Let's go to Bruce in Oregon. You are up.
Dave, this is Bruce from Oregon. So let's say you're on the beach and you have to battle. Would you prefer to battle one Thomas-sized crab or 10 crab-sized Thomases? Let me know. Talk to you later.
Very, very good question. Let's repeat that for the audience. Would I rather battle 1 Thomas-sized crab or 10 crab-sized Thomases? I'm going to read that one more time because that's confusing and it's late. Would I rather battle 1 Thomas-sized crab, so like a 6'5" crab, or battle 10 crab-sized Thomases? 10 crab-sized Thomases. Now this is a good one because 10 crab-sized Thomases would only be like that big, right? But if they're able to communicate like Thomas, they could probably sneak around and really mess with you. You know, you go for one, but they move pretty fast. I think I'd rather battle 10 crab-sized Thomases rather than 1 Thomas-sized crab. But I also not a big fan of shellfish. Not a fan of crabs. But you know, crabs have to do what they got to do. So maybe some boxing crabs would not be good to face. But very good question. I love a good hypothetical. If anyone has any other hypotheticals, you know, a lot of times people want to know, like, would you rather? And again, I don't want to compare people's like based on looks, but you know, like, would you rather be stuck on a? All right, let's go Survivor style. Who on the current cast of Bachelor in Paradise? Listen closely, folks. Who on the cast of Bachelor in Paradise would you most want to be stranded on a deserted island with? You can provide reasons for who. It can be someone you want to be friends with. It can be someone you want to sling your spade onto. It can be somebody that you know you think is crafty. It can be Carl. You know, he might motivate you to want to swim out of the island. Let me know who you would want to be. Sarah says definitely 10 crab-sized Thomases, right? I just think imagine 10 crab-sized Thomases, but they run really fast and they start stabbing you in the ear, and you're like, you know. By the way, I was walking in the dark earlier tonight, and I had my phone, and I went to turn it on as I was walking in the dark, and I turned it on, and then all of a sudden, I could see a spider on the screen of the phone. I just dropped the phone. I just dropped it. I was like, nope, not today. And I just dropped it on the cement. Let's move along. Janet says, do you think Bachelor in Paradise is going to be redeeming for Thomas? I would bet you a lot of money that it will be very redeeming for Thomas. I think there'll be some alpha energy and maybe a fight or two, but I do think Thomas, and to be honest, I don't think he needs to redeem himself much. I don't think he did much wrong. I think it'll be less redeeming for him and more a chance for people to see that, hey, he wasn't that bad of a guy. I don't blame Katie for how she handled him. We don't know what we don't know, but I don't think he's that bad of a guy from what we've seen. And I think he was guilty of maybe speaking the truth too much. And, you know, sometimes you can't handle the truth. You can't handle it, right? All right. Susan says she would want to be stranded on a deserted island with Connor. Lots of fun, laughs, singing, and dancing. Travis says, picture Colton and Chad on an island. They just, you know, I would, you know, I'm sure they would probably get along fine. Stephanie says, grocery store Joe, he's gonna bag the coconuts for you. Noah, because he's a nurse. That's a good one. Ivan, very nice. And let's see. Noah's a good one. So Sarah says, someone strong that could help build shelter and get food if we are stranded. Yeah, I'm trying to think of the current cast. No one's choosing any women here, but Elizabeth, for women, I think I would I would want to hang with someone that I could talk to for hours. You know what I mean? And also you have to consider, you know, in this hypothetical, we're single, right? We're considering maybe we have to procreate, you know, stay warm, cuddle, naked and afraid, the whole 9 yards. So if we're doing that, I'll tell you, let's start. No to Serena. She's Canadian, so Canadians have a little bit of outdoor experience, but we're talking about a tropical island. Canadians would be good if you get stuck on like a frozen lake or something. It wouldn't be Demi, because I don't see her having any survival skills, you know, other than tweeting at people. It wouldn't be Queen Victoria, and it wouldn't be Victoria Paul. I might choose someone like, you know what, Tash Wan feels like the type of, she would be fun because I feel like she would be funny and complaining about stuff and we'd get along that way. I think Marissa too, and maybe it's because I don't know much about Marissa, but I feel like Marissa would just be, I don't know. I'm trying to think what other women that are on the show. Kelsey seems like she would cause a lot of problems. She would get sunburnt and she would just stub her toe. Like I don't see Kelsey being a net positive on a deserted island. Bruce says, well, so you're just going to bring the bartender. That's a great idea. Yeah, he could make some coconut rum. Natasha would be good. She would be good on the show. Leslie said, Naked and Afraid of Love. I did just see that commercial. I have a friend producing a show that seems to be similar to Survivor and Bachelor, and I think it's in the early stages of being made, but I'm gonna learn more about it because it seems like it'd be a fun thing to talk about. Oh, Kenny, yeah, Kenny's a great idea. You know why? Kenny's a little older, so I feel like he just has random life experience, and it's like, look, if you can manage a boy band, I think you can manage, living on an island. Noah for self-preservation. I just wonder, is a nurse, and maybe you can let me know in the comments section, is a nurse needed on a deserted island? Now, listen, if they know a lot about homeopathic medicine, maybe, but what good is a nurse if you need insulin and you're on a deserted island? You know what I mean? Now, don't get me wrong. I'm sure nurses are great. All right, let's go to Tracy in Washington. You are up next.
Dave, Tracy from Washington.
Hi.
So, I think the previews for next week highlight how insecure Thomas makes the other guys feel, honestly, just by breathing. I think that's why they pushed so hard for his elimination last season. I never thought he was much of a villain by any standard, so hopefully he gets his redemption arc this season, and I'm most excited, to be honest, about his upcoming love connection with Becca. Anyways, thanks for your dedication and content. Peace.
Thank you so much for the call. Yeah. I agree with you. I don't think Thomas is much of a villain. I think it'll be easy for him to be well liked by people. There'll be no reason for the union to go against him because he won't be competing against them for the same people. You know what I mean? There won't be us versus you mentality. Jessica said an ER nurse would be good. That's a good point. Yeah, an ER nurse. I wasn't thinking about the medical side of things. I was only thinking about sourcing food. Yeah, Ivan would be pretty calm. But we got to be, survival. It's not just about who you build a survival hut with. It's about who you accompany yourself with in that hut. I think Carl would be the only one who I could see really annoying me. I think Victoria, I would be more annoyed if she leached off of me. If I caught all the coconuts and got all the firewood and she was like, I'm prepping to be Miss, Stranded Island. Victoria Larson, Miss Stranded Island 2024. All right, here we go. Let's go to Amarillo, Texas. We love Texas.
Hey, this is Amy. I'm calling from Amarillo, Texas. I just want to say thank you. I've been watching you since quarantine 2020.
Wow.
I really appreciate you, your voice. You are so emotionally intelligent, which is one reason I really like listening to you. Tonight, I was just thinking about Demi and how much of a shit show she is. She talks about how much she's grown, but man, she is on edge and I don't see the growth at all. I just wondered, what you think. You probably talked about this already, but do you think that she was chosen, by James to keep the drama going? I'm sure she was. Surely she was. That's all she's there for. Anyway, I really, my heart goes out to her. I hope she gets actually healthy someday. Thanks.
Thank you so much for the call. If I were Demi and I wanted to not look stupid, she's kind of a senior alumni, she's kind of as far as contestants go that have been on the show, she's top 5%. She's been the villain, she's been the hero, people love her. She's pretty unique. She's sassy. She's unique on the show. I mean, her mom was in prison. She comes from a different sort of background than a lot of the people do. If I were her, I would negotiate that I'd have to be there for a certain number of weeks. And I know they'll never say that, but I wonder if that was kind of the deal. Like they kind of told her, we'll find a way to get you to stick around. Because while these contestants are like picking who they choose, if they don't have a serious love connection with somebody, then they're kind of doing favors to the production. And, part of it's strategy. So like James choosing her, that might help him in the future when they need him to play ball and they choose him. I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. Stir Crazy says, congrats on the 40K. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Even though my first impulse was Connor, it would have to be a smart and strong guy on a deserted island like Riley. Yeah, Riley would be good, but Connor could be good too because, part of surviving in the wilderness or in a deserted island is having, if Connor's got his guitar and he can sing some songs at night, that's your only form of entertainment. So even if Connor only knows a couple songs, it's like, play the songs again. Nathan says next 50. Absolutely. We're going for 50 next. Star Crazy said, anyone annoyed by Demi? I used to like her, but not anymore. Some people are. I'm kind of like, I'm like, Demi is like a mosquito, okay? Mosquitoes doesn't annoy me too much, but if it's like the same one that's like buzzing around your head at night and you can't sleep and you got to turn the lights on and try to kill a mosquito, that's one thing. But she doesn't. She's a mosquito. She doesn't annoy me too much. But then again, you start to, the more you see kind of her tactic, you're like, all right, just like, wouldn't it be nice if Demi actually fell for somebody? Do we think she's being her complete authentic self? I don't know. Someone said this the other day, Franny, maybe you were talking about this actually when we had you on last week. But do you see Demi, and I know you're watching this show, so like you can't give like true therapy sort of diagnosis, but do you see Demi as resorting to violence as sort of like a way to mask? I mean, not violence. I'm sorry. Demi resorting to anger. Is that the proper way that people mask when they're rejected? Is it easier to be angry at being rejected than look at why you were rejected in the first place? Because so often in relationships or when we're single, we go, oh, I just haven't found the right person, blah, blah, blah. But in some instances, it's because you're kind of a tough person to be with. In some instances, you have to like look inward and go, maybe I'm not giving enough. Like maybe I'm too set in my ways. Like there's plenty of people that are so set in their ways. Like Demi's like, I'm strong. I'm the cream of the crop. I'm the, whatever. And then it's like, all right, well, maybe, but also maybe that's kind of off-putting. And I'm not saying you shouldn't be your authentic self, but like, you got to be your authentic self light. You got to be your authentic self, but also, you got to build a fire before you can throw all the logs on it. Like if you try to be your authentic self maybe too early on, people might be off-put by that. I don't know if that makes any sense. Susan says, Connor would be a collaborative partner to brainstorm solutions and strong enough to make a difference in addition to being entertaining. Yeah, Connor and I would be buddies for sure. Leslie said Demi seemed worse in the previews, but now she kind of seems insecure and like she's overcompensating. Oh, for sure. I mean, she has to be. She has to be overcompensating, which is fine. I mean, like I said before, we're all, they're all gorgeous people on the show. She probably has like sort of an imposter syndrome. And that's a lot of times why we resort to humor in the first place, which, I'm okay with. I like making jokes and, but also you guys know this from like my content. I feel like a lot of like in the stand-up comedy world, there's plenty of comics that don't have to tell jokes when you're not in the right setup. Like there's nothing more exhausting than someone who's trying to be funny all the time. That's exhausting. Sometimes you're in the mood to be funny, but sometimes like you're going to dive into a topic that's not funny. With Demi, I wonder if they're wanting her to be on all the time and if that's something that it's hard for her to do because it's not your true authentic self, like being on all the time. So, she's giving them the sound bites they need, but it's like at what expense? And I don't want to overanalyze it. Maybe she's just having fun. Yeah, Susan, how funny was that? Susan says, Demi went in thinking she had the power to turn the place upside down, but her experience with Brendan took the wind out of her sails. Yeah, she's like, I'm hot shit. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Brendan's like, yeah, I'm going to see other people. And, maybe for the right guy, the right guy would like be into Demi and all that. But, I think by going after Brendan, she kind of outpunted her coverage there. She probably would have been better off. I don't know who Demi would have been better off, but Brendan was a lost cause from the beginning. Araceli says, I like Ivan and Jasenia as well. They seem to be on the same wavelength. Yeah, they seem to have like a very calm energy together. They're like a good looking and not like super outgoing, but they're just like, they seem to like be very aware of themselves, if that makes any sense. Sarah, I said Demi acted like Brendan was cheating on her as well. Yeah, that's what's crazy, is Brendan literally was communicating to her to set the expectation that, there were, whatever. And just obviously it wasn't the decision she wanted. I remember in college, there was a girl that I was seeing, and it was casual. She knew it was casual, but she started to get some feelings, and she was like, hey, Dave, like, I just want to know, like, I'd rather be official, or we should just like see other people. And I was kind of like, I just wasn't that into her. And I was like, we should see other people, because I don't want to like lie to you. Whereas some guys would be like, hey, yeah, let's be official, when they didn't vibe with it, and then they're going to break someone's heart anyway. I was like, look, I don't want to be the reason you fall for, what I mean? It was college. It wasn't going to happen for me. I don't know if that makes any sense whatsoever. I'm feeling very, very loopy right now, but that's okay. Did not take an edible. Leslie said she was embarrassed about being rejected and tried to flip it on Brendan. I mean, yeah, that's what happens, right? You get like we were saying before, you get rejected. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to have like your identity questioned when you get rejected, especially on TV. All the heightened scenarios. We saw this with Claire, right? When like the guy wouldn't kiss her back right away in the pool, and she was like, pushed him away. I was like, I'm watching this going like, what the hell's happening here? But you see getting even the thought of getting rejected when Claire was like, the guys wouldn't kind of talk to her right away. She saw that as a sign of rejection, and she got all mad at them. Greg says, rumors are Dave ghost lighted a Piper follow back. I don't know what that even means. I ghost lighted a Piper follow back. Whitney said, are you sad Kelsey didn't get far? Yeah, I think I would have liked Kelsey to go farther. The fact that the fact that Victoria P bounced out of there. Could someone explain to me what happened? I was watching this, but I literally ran into the other room to like get something, and I came back and Lauren P was in the van. What exactly? So help me out here. James confronted Lauren P. I'm sorry, James confronted Victoria P. Get these names down. And Victoria P kind of was like, you're overreacting or whatever. And he's like, I don't think I'm overreacting at all. She said he was kind of like, getting loud. So what exactly happened that made Victoria P leave? When James came back to tell everyone, he said Lauren P decided to go. But can someone just explain to me what happened? I literally didn't catch that part. Franny said, did she even ask Brendan if he was developing a relationship with anyone before she asked him on a date? That's a good question. Yeah, that's a good question. She just showed up and thought the whole world was revolved around her. Pega says, rejection is a part of life. We shouldn't take it too personal. A skill, I guess. You know what was told to me that makes a lot of sense? A lot of times, especially like if you're in the dating scene and you're on Tinder or meeting someone at a bar, a lot of times you have to look at it this way. Your approach or your icebreaker or your introduction is what is being rejected, not you as a person. You just didn't come off sincere. Maybe you were nervous. There's so many things that could have gone wrong to lead to that rejection, and we shouldn't take it as if we're being rejected as a person. And obviously we do. We take it as we're being ostracized, which is, one of the greatest sort of ways to hurt somebody is to like cancel them. That's the worst thing someone could feel, is if their community is canceling them. Cammie said, Demi is entitled in her own head, very entitled to have anyone she wants. Absolutely. She showed up and they fluffed her up. They got her all excited. Summer said she probably felt way more insecure because it was Brendan and because of how highly she thought of him. Oh yeah, I'm sure. But she must have known, she's very well connected, so she must have known that he was not going to be an option for her. I don't really believe that, like, everyone in Bachelor Nation knows everything about each other. All right, so let's break this down here, because I'm just want to make sure I figure this out. Travis said, and I'm sorry, I like comparisons, but I want to figure them out. He said, I hate to say this and maybe a little overboard, but there's a fine line, Demi overreacting to Brendan versus Greg gaslighting Katie. Way different, but easy line to cross. Now, I think we talked about this last week. Last live stream, where the similarities there would be the ownership one might feel over the other person. Now, we get ownership when we spend a lot of time with someone, when we've kissed, when we've done things you wouldn't do with just a random stranger or friend. So obviously Greg felt an ownership to Katie's, fantasy suite. He felt an ownership to, like, I'm your guy, I'm the one. In a normal relationship, that might be a natural feeling. Like, I wouldn't expect my fiance to be going on fantasy suites with other guys, but in the confines of the show, that's how it works. And then Demi gave Brendan the date, and then she felt it's sort of ownership over him by being like, oh, he wasted my time, I gave him this date, this and that. It's like, well, you shouldn't expect him to owe you anything. Like, if the gender was reversed there, if a guy, let's reverse this. If Brendan asked Demi on a date and they went, on a ski boat, where they, water skis, jet skis, whatever the hell, if they did all that and then they made out and then Demi was like, I'm not ready to commit, Brendan would look ridiculous if he was like, man, I asked her on this date, she should have not, it would come up very entitled. And that happens sometimes too. I'm not saying men don't do that. A lot of times, I bought her dinner, what the hell? It's like, hey, there's no such thing as a free lunch. Gregory says, do I like morning coffee in the morning? I don't know if that's an innuendo. I like coffee. I have coffee every morning. Leslie said, can someone explain the VP situation? I got lost. Victoria Paul. Yeah, that whole situation. How do I say this briefly? Let's see the comments. Someone might have already said it. Stir Crazy says, I left the room too, Dave, so I missed her leaving. Victoria P had a man at home basically and got caught and didn't know how to respond without overreacting. That's a good way to put it, Monique. Thank you so much. She had a boyfriend back home. But also she left because she had a boyfriend at home. Now, I know that. I just, did she never quite admitted she had a boyfriend. Stephen Bates says, why do the moderators hate free speech? Stephen, if you feel like you are being banned or blocked for something, state your case. Please let me know what the problem is. I don't think the moderators hate free speech. Sarah said Victoria Paul lied to James, went to the girls about it, then went back to James and just told him she needed to remove herself from the situation, then said in the car, why be there searching when she has someone. Yeah, so I guess, I don't know why she should have just said, hey, I got a guy back at home. I'm going to come on the show. If I find a better guy, great. If I don't, I'll go back to him and hope he doesn't watch the show. Leslie said, I did agree with her confronting the girls. I felt like they should have confronted her since they were friends. Yeah, so it's almost like this. You steal something from the store, then your friends tell the store, and you go, hey, why didn't you tell me first before you told the store? So I get the logic there that your friends should come to you first, but at the same time, it doesn't excuse Victoria Paul's crime here. But I do agree with you that, like, it probably would have been way easier for the girls to just go straight to Victoria P. But hey, when does the show ever do that? You know what I mean? Alrighty then. When Brendan said she was entitled to her own opinion, and she said, I'm not entitled. Yeah, clearly wasn't listening. My neck's killing me. Stephen Bates, I would suggest just moving on, and we can look into it later if you want. I can I can spend some time popping the hood on the live stream and seeing what you said there. I'm not really sure. I haven't really been paying attention. I can't handle the truth.
Can't handle the truth.
3 messages in a row saying "whip it out." It's a slow news day when I'm reading so you're whip. Yeah, I guess you can. To protect Stephen's First Amendment rights. Listen, yeah, you can yell "whip it out" all you want, but in the chat it can get kind of annoying. So I think, oh, look at that! Wow, what the hell did I just do? That was fun. I'm running off of my fiance's computer tonight, which, by the way, I will be wrapping this up in the next 10 or 15 minutes. So if anyone has any voicemails they want to leave, please. No one called in and told me who they would want. How about this? If anyone wants to, in the chat this way, call in a voicemail and tell me who of the opposite sex you would want to be stranded on a deserted island with, and who of the same sex to be your BFF. So, you know what? Maybe we'll make this even weirder. Assuming you have to repopulate the planet on this deserted island, tell me one person of the same sex and one person of the opposite sex that you would want on that deserted island, primarily for repopulation purposes. Do with that what you must, but if anyone wants to leave a voicemail, that might be a fun way to get out of here. Erica Pauly's here. Good to see you, Erica. How are you? Very nice. Iona says, Demi used to be so cool. Now I don't like her at all. I mean, look, obviously we swing in different directions with these things. I'm sure she's a peach. I'm sure she's a ton of fun. She's got a very strong personality. She's great for the show. Obviously, they made a lot out of nothing this episode. There wasn't much going on. They're clearly going to play into this Brendan scenario, but she probably just should have found another guy to go on a date with. Gregory said, "What happened to David Spade?" They bring him in and out. I don't know. It really, I'm sure they don't. It is a pretty cake job. Yeah. David Spade lost the Battle of the Crab Chateau and had to flee. He had to go out the side entrance, right, folks? The side entrance. Oh, sorry about that. Stephen Bates says, I said whip it out and they timed me out. I love you, Dave. Well, Stephen, they said you said it 3 times in a row. I don't know what that's an even reference to. What do you need to whip it out for? We don't need to whip it out. But anyway, I appreciate the love, Steven. You weren't banned. You're still in the chat. Life is good. Just Me Madison said Victoria admitted to having a boyfriend back home. Okay, we got all that. All right. Yeah, she kind of admitted it, but she also she didn't flat. We know she admitted it. It's pretty obvious, but she didn't really say it. She was like, I guess I have something better off at home. And it's like, okay, I don't know. I guess maybe in her head she was like, I'm gonna break up with this guy and I'm gonna go to this thing, and who knows, maybe I can't imagine the guy's gonna watch this back and feel like I don't know. Miss Tracy says, I don't see the Brendan hype. I know I'm crazy. Dave, I think you're more attractive than him, for example. I'd give you a rose. Oh, that's so cute. Well, thank you. But Brendan, don't make me Google his modeling photos. Look, I understand he's not your type. I get it. But just if you want to put a guy in a sports jacket and sell some watches, that's the guy to do it. He's just traditionally really good looking. Erica says, wait, did Dave ever talk about the joke he was going to make Tasha do at the wedding? No, okay, so she didn't say it. She said she got a laugh, but she didn't say the joke. There was a line that Tasha, so my fiance was the officiant of the wedding of my good friend and his wife. She's pregnant because they got married last year during COVID, but this was their big wedding. So she's 7 months pregnant. And there was a line about some, I don't even remember the line, but the line was saying how you need to be committed to each other, and the line was clearly they already there was a line that was clearly the belly, and it was a simple joke. It would have gotten a big laugh because we worked it out, but then she ended up not doing it. She didn't write it down. It was one of those things, say it, so she didn't say it. So I was a little like, come on, go for the laugh, but she didn't go for the laugh. She did a great job. Tasha's a really good minister. I was thinking, we talked about this on a different live stream, but Chris Harrison charges to marry people. I'm thinking, maybe in some world, if someone has like some crazy money, they'd pay for Tasha and I to marry them. How funny would that be? For the right price, we show up to your wedding. Oh boy, don't give me the microphone. Anyway. Okay. Teresa said, how was Michigan? It was good. I mean, other than the flights were horrible because, of all the flight issues we had. But I don't know. Nomad Chica said, I love Wells, but it felt odd to see him in the serious rose ceremony role versus happy-go-lucky bartender role. Yeah, and it was funny that someone had mentioned this earlier, but the fact that they didn't give him like a classier shirt to wear, it was like he like came in for the speech and then he had to go like clean out some dishes behind the bar. Araceli says Brendan is good looking, but I have not seen his personality too much on Bachelor in Paradise. Yeah, he's a softie. I don't know. All right, let's see if there's any voicemails left. Oh my gosh, we just got a bunch of voicemails. We just got 5 voicemails. So clearly, let's go to these voicemails here.
Donna from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. First of all, congrats on hitting 40,000 subscribers.
Well,
That's really great. Piper's got to come soon, or Brendan will get sent home before she arrives because of all the rumors about the two of them. So she's got to come really quick. Demi's just there for the drama. Sorry your girl Kelsey got sent home. I'm happy to see Victoria Goddess leave, but was hoping for some big drama between her and Demi before she left. My favorite couple are Grocery Store Joe and Serena, and I hope they make it to the end. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Thank you so much for the phone call. I appreciate that. Nathan says, you're 43? No, I am not. I am 36. But I'll be 43 before you know it. Hold on.
New Mexico.
All right, here we go.
Hey, Dave, this is Stephen Bates calling from New Mexico. Just want to say I'm a big fan of the show. Make sure you whip it out. I'm a real big fan of the content, man. Keep it up. Really appreciate what you do. Thanks, and good luck and stay safe out there.
I should screen grab that. Make sure you whip it out. That should be a good one.
You cut the crap.
Karen.
You cut the crap.
And then who else do we have here?
Be careful who you bang.
And then we've got just whip it out. Okay, there we go. Good to know. Thank you so much. Appreciate the phone call. Oh, let's go to our good friend Katie in Alaska, Europe.
Dave, it's Katie from Alaska. I'm just calling to answer your question.
Thank you. About
who I'd be stranded on an island with. Opposite sex, probably Hot Kenny, because he's hot. You said primarily repopulation. So yeah, probably Hot Kenny. And then BFF, Abigail, because she's just fucking awesome.
Not Demi?
But yeah, no, not Demi. She's kind of bitchy. We'd clash. She's kind of hot.
Who's in the background?
But yeah, congrats on 40K subs. Bye.
Bye. Yeah, Kenny, you know what? Now that I think about it, Kenny's almost in too good of shape. You almost need someone with some, like, you need me with some extra weight on me, just in case, we start to starve. Like, I won't be too hungry. Or I got my belly. Kenny would be great. Yeah, I think Kenny's my choice too. Because here's the deal. You need someone to, essentially, in this hypothetical, you need somebody who you can, fornicate with, bump Harrison's, sling your spade. You need, but at the same time, you need someone like of emotional, intelligence, like a friend or whatever. But you also have to be okay if the friend, it might be a scenario in which you and the friend both need to get knocked up. We're repopulating here. You know what I mean? I don't know. Just saying. Kenny's got the swimmers, so maybe he can do that for you. Hold on here.
Oh my God. Hi, Dave. This is Summer Beasley from Scotland. I feel so weird doing this. I've never left you a voicemail. But I just wanted to answer your question that you posed to the chat. So I already answered in the comments that I would choose Ivan as my male partner to accompany me on a deserted island. And for my female partner in crime, I guess that would be Serena P. I feel like
Okay.
they kind of would both have the same energy. Female, but just female versus male. And I feel like the energy and they're both optimistic and really positive people. And I feel like that would mix well with my energy. And they're both just very happy-go-lucky. Ivan's very calming. And so I feel like having that kind of mindset as a person and being stranded on a deserted island, you'd be able to navigate the situation well. And you'd also be able to just enjoy it and not stress as much. And I don't know, it'd kind of be, I don't want to say smooth sailing, because it'd be far from that, but definitely the most smooth sailing it could possibly be with people like Ivan and Serena P. So yeah, okay, well that's my answer. I just wanted to call, and yeah, this is my first time leaving a voicemail. I had a lot of anxiety doing this, so yeah, bye.
Thank you so much for the call. I understand anxiety. I get it. But yeah, you're just calling a friend here. No big deal. I appreciate the call. I love the way you said so. It sounds Midwestern. So leave a comment and let me know. Are you Midwestern? So, because that's how I can't even do the so. There's just a way that you said it that was very endearing. So thank you so much for the call. I love how funny at the beginning you were like, I feel so weird doing this. I feel so weird doing this. What are we doing? But I actually enjoyed this hypothetical. I like that you're like, in this hypothetical, I love a good hypothetical. That's what a good friend is for a long road trip. You start giving hypotheticals. Like my fiance and I would do that. Like, all right, we'd say morbid things. I'd be like, all right, so I'd be like, all right, which of our friends would you bang? I'd always ask if I'd always ask weird hypotheticals where I'd be like, all right, if I die in a crash, which of my friends do you think you would, whatever. These are weird. You get the point. I feel like, the relationship's secure when you can ask really weird questions like that. Okay, let's go to Sir Rai.
Hey, it's Rai. So who I would commingle with to create a population again? No question, no doubt, Connor. He's my cat guy, he is my musician, and he said he's really good with his fingers.
Whoa.
So that's all good in my book. And for the same sex, I don't go that way, but I'll say I'll be a BFF with the same sex. But, oh gosh, I would probably have to say Abigail or
a lot of Abigail love.
Natasha or Serena P. Those are three girls I could really see me getting along with. And although I did have some competition with me, it's Connor. So that would probably be those of the VIP cast. And if it's outside of the VIP cast, I need some really good thinking in that one for a while. All right. See y'all later. Bye.
Bye. If Becca Kufrin counted, I would go with her because she's from... Is she from Minnesota? So I feel like she knows how to start a fire and be resourceful and all that jazz. I wonder, because some of these Jasenia, some of these Serena, they look kind of petite, which is fine. But in the hypothetical here, we're going to need people to potentially drag a deer down from the hills or whatever. You know what I mean? We killed a deer or something. I don't know. All right, last chance if anyone wants to call in with their hypotheticals. Get weird about it. Let me know. Who would you? Because the key here is whatever. A lot, but a lot of Kenny. Kenny seems to be the big catch of the day. Susan said, which friend would you bang? A dangerous discussion that can come back to bite you in a future fight. Well, yeah, no, I mean, I understand Tasha's generally disgusted by my friends, so it's kind of funny because it's like, ugh, but the question, we've asked this too, which of our friends would we most likely want to, and I always pose it in a way that's not so creepy, but I'm always assuming we're walking down the hall, at a hotel and the windows are open and our couple friends were having sex, which would stop us in the tracks, because you got some of your friends that you're like, oh geez, that'd be gross. But then you have some other friends that are pretty cute. We have some cute friends. It's hey, I don't know. We just stop by and say hi. You know what I mean? Steer Crazy says, I'm not interested in Kenny at all. Kyla said for a female, she'd take Tash. Yeah, she would be great. She would be great for just like good sense of humor. I feel like I feel like she's good at her communicating. I don't know. I think she would be good. Leslie would bump the Harrison. Good to know. Cammie says Ivan and his girl would make pretty babies. Yeah, Ivan and Jasenia would be a they are a good looking couple. Absolutely. Well, I tell you what, Erica says I would choose Grocery Joe. He's blue collar. He's got me. Yeah, that's a good one. No one's saying anything about James. I mean, he's a strong guy, but someone had asked if Kenny is on steroids. I like to think I'm really good at seeing who has implants and who's on steroids. And I would not say that Kenny is on steroids, but he could be on something like testosterone, which, I'd consider going on. Your testosterone kind of peaks at a certain level and then it starts to decline. So like I could consider, the like testosterone therapy where you get, they give you a little bit, but then again, like, it'd also be nice. I feel like that's something you don't do. Like Kenny's still really young for that. But, I had a roommate in college that he was on every pill you can imagine. He wasn't on anabolic steroids. You can tell when someone's on HGH, human growth hormone, or steroids. A lot of times your jaw and nose will grow more. So you can kind of see these guys with these Cro-Magnon jaws. You can't, and you can kind of, a lot. And the other thing I noticed with steroids is when the shoulders grow more wide. Shoulders is not a muscle that grows that bulky naturally. So when you see it with a lot of like kind of roundness to it, you're like, oh, that person's juiced. That person's juiced. All right, let's wrap this up. Sarai wants Peter to come to a deserted island. Dr. Joe would be a good pick. Absolutely. I'd be like, Dr. Joe, I stubbed my toe. Please help me. We haven't seen much of James' personality. You know what? And again, obviously we saw more of Victoria P today, but she wasn't involved at all in the first episode. So they really buried her character. I mean, she really got nothing off of being there. Kenny just seems cool, and he would give the clothing off his back to keep his lady warm. Oh yeah, if he has clothing on his back. Nomad Chica, how are you? She said, Deserted Island, Matt Renato from Listen to Your Heart, and Katie Thurston for BFF. Well, now we're opening it up past The Bachelor in Paradise. Okay, here we go. Abby C. Oh, Mari's, yeah, we haven't even, I would take Mari and Kenny, and I'll just be the odd man out. Abby C says, same sex, Mari, she's gorgeous and seems chill. Opposite sex, Brendan for his looks, don't see much of a personality. I can also pick Noah, he's a nurse, comes in handy with my accident-prone self. Good to know. Kyla says, my university's entire football team was suspended for steroids, so yikes. Kenny seems to be testosterone, not roids for sure. Yeah, roids you can tell. And steroids are not necessarily a good thing for football. Like, you could get injured. There's plenty of other things that you can take to bulk up. Nilly Ramnick says, can I please take Tyler C to my deserted island? If yes, no female needed. Very funny. Very funny. Now you're really flying in. So yeah, Mari and Kenny. I could watch Mari and Kenny. I've never paid for an OnlyFans, but if they started an OnlyFans, I would just throw my credit card at my phone. Take it. All right, let's go to Nancy in Texas. Last chance at voicemails, and I'm going to get out of here. I still have to make the thumbnail for my recap, which goes live in the morning, but I am so excited to sleep tonight. Oh, baby, it's going to be nice.
Dave, it's Nancy again from Texas. I can't believe I've called 3 times today. First of all, I'm glad y'all had a good trip. Sorry about the mishaps. I think that's so cool that Tasha is a minister. I did not know that. I'm really looking forward to her fashion takes. There's so many great outfits on Paradise. And seriously, how do the women look so good? I mean, there's no AC there. It's hot, humid. There's sand everywhere, not to mention crabs and wind. I mean, when I go down to Padre, when I'm on the beach, I look like ass. And they're like perfect makeup, eyelashes, everything. Anyway, I guess that's why they're on TV and I'm not. The other thing I wanted to say was, when I was watching tonight, when I was watching Demi, it just struck me that she is Sammy Joe on Dynasty, played by the great Heather Locklear.
That's an old
and,
reference.
I looked up Mike Fleiss, and he was born in 1964, which means he was watching primetime dramas probably in the late 70s, early 80s. So anyway, it just really struck me. She's Sammy Joe. Anyway, thank you. Good night.
Oh, thank you so much, Nancy, for calling in. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Very kind of you. Yeah, Tasha became a minister with the Universal Life Church, which is basically like anybody can get, in order to marry my friends last year. So she did whatever the course is, and it's not rocket science, but, so she was honored to do it, and she did such a good job. She really did. She projected. I'll share a clip. My buddy, we recorded it all, so I'll share a clip, but she really knocked it out of the park. Amira says, love from Pakistan. We don't get the show here, but I love following your follow-up on it. Trashy TV is my kryptonite. Well, thank you so much, Amira. I appreciate that. What a beautiful name you have, Amira. Amira from Pakistan. Thank you so much. Strange Crew says, Fleiss was watching Dynasty before his wife was even born. That could be true. All right, you guys have been fantastic. In lieu of any last voicemails, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you guys so much for sticking around. Thank you so much for, a lot went wrong today with the live stream. Just the flights and the cancellations, and I'm not complaining about it. So many good things are happening. My computer still won't turn on, and I was able to get everything going on this computer, and I was just really excited to hang out and talk to you guys. So I'm glad everything worked out, and I just wanted to do a little bit extra with the extra live streams for the 40,000 subs, and I just wanted to spread them out a little bit so that people could get there on the East Coast, West Coast, this, that, late, early. So anyway, I appreciate all you guys so much, and I just wanted to share my gratitude there. But anyway, thank you guys all so much. Let's see what JC said. If not, know what to do Tuesday night. Half the viewers for West Coast recap as East Coast, so I would do only one post show at 11:30 p.m. or 12 Eastern, and can pick up the West Coasters on the tail end. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. We'll have to see. I'll probably do. I don't know. Honestly, we'll have to see what tomorrow looks like. So just stick around. I do apologize to the people who want a standard schedule. I'm trying my best, but I'm also kind of just trying to be loose with it. It is a lot to commit to 2 recaps 2 days in a row, but this is the fun part. So anyway, we'll have to see all about that. Let's get a nice voice. Let's get a nice song to end up with here.
Platform 17 for the 18.
I don't know if this is any good. Alrighty. Thank you guys so much for all the support, and we'll see you in the morning. Leave a comment on the videos. As always, I appreciate you guys, and we'll keep sharing that joy. All right, folks. If you do want to come to a stand-up show, let me know in my DMs in the Hollywood or Los Angeles, or the ones I have coming up next week. Just hang tight, and I'll let you know when those, when I've got more info from there. All right, everybody. Have a good night. Bye now. Good luck, Sarai. Thanks to my amazing moderators. You guys are all amazing. And for all the fun voicemails.